So what do you get when you cross Monopoly, Radiohead, Blueberry Pie, Star Wars Episode 1, a Wendy's hamburger, and a Taco Bell? Well, you actually get a religious debate. So first off, a small plug for the theater. I saw this film at Alamo Drafthouse in Dallas, Texas. These theaters were all closed down a year ago, but they were reopened thankfully due to Sony Pictures buying the chain and opening them back up. Alamo is always a fun experience. The food is great. I had a Royale with cheese.
This is a tasty burger.
I love the videos that they show before the movie. The Heretic had this Mormon evangelism training video from the 80s playing that was really fun.
Simple courtesies like proper manners, proper dress and grooming, and appropriate interaction with our companions, our investigators, and with members.
They also included smell-o-vision with this film, which I'll talk about a little later. If you're going to see this movie, give Alamo Theaters some support and love this weekend if you can. Now let's review this movie. Heretic stars Hugh Grant in, I believe, his best performance of his career. He plays Mr. Reed, a professor like Richard Dawkins' character who invites two Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints evangelists, Sister Paxton, played by Chloe East, and Sister Barnes, played by Sophie Thatcher, to his home to talk about faith, Mormonism, and religion. He convinces the two girls that it's okay to come in due to the fact that the evangelists require that another woman needs to be in the room with them.
Come on in.
We can't come inside unless another woman is present?
My wife is home. Does that count?
He explains that his wife is in the kitchen making blueberry pie. From there, the debate on religion and faith versus disbelief begins.
I could tell that you are a very spiritually curious person.
I think it is good to be religious, to find your faith in a doctrine you actually believe.
Well, our work here is done.
The two girls become trapped inside the house and are forced to pick between two doors, one belief and one disbelief, to get out of the house. What's behind both doors is something that kept me guessing until the very end of the movie. The movie is directed by the two writers of The Quiet Place, Scott Beck and Brian Woods. They also directed the movie 54 with Adam Driver, which I personally didn't see, but in this movie they really get the storytelling very, very right. These two friends who grew up together decided to write this movie after shooting a short film in Utah and became friends with a lot of the people in the Mormon faith and are still friends with them today. I appreciate that they could have really raked this community over the coals and made fun of the Mormon faith altogether, but chose not to. Chloe East and Sophie Thatcher actually grew up in the Mormon faith, but are now non-practicing. This film respects the opinions of both sides, right or wrong, and the end result, the one true God that Mr. Reed actually believes in, is a pretty huge twist, only because as confident as he is, it's shown that he actually struggles with disbelief in his own theory. The two directors decided that they wanted smell-o-vision in as many theaters as they could get it in. The smell of blueberry pie is pumped through the theater and makes everything feel very warm and cozy. As you're welcomed into this charismatic, dad humor, funny, harmless, charming guy's home, it gets pretty intense in the calm. The use of color in the home with browns and oranges, very warm, cozy colors makes his home feel very warm and inviting compared to the blue, dark, and cold colors of what's behind the door that they ultimately pick. The sound design of the film makes you feel very uneasy, but it's purposeful and was really thought out. While they talk about religion, there's a ticking clock in the background that makes you feel that time is running out. And when Mr. Reed leaves the room and you hear the rumbling and footsteps, it really raises this anxiety level. At the beginning of the movie, the sounds, the colors, and contrast of the elements around them make you feel safe, but at the same time, makes you question everything and makes you question if something's actually wrong. Hugh Grant brings his famous charm that he uses in movies like Love Actually and Notting Hill to the story. But as charming as he is so great at making you feel uneasy at the same time. This role seemed very, very difficult to play. It's hard to explain. You just have to see it for yourself. He absolutely nails this role, and he is so fun to watch. He does an impression of a certain Star Wars character to prove one of his points on religion, and it's a really great scene. And apparently he watched that particular Star Wars movie 3 or 4 times for this role. Just for that scene. Sophie Thatcher had some great scenes as Sister Barnes, and Chloe East as Sister Paxton was absolutely incredible. She was such an amazing antithesis to Hugh Grant's Mr. Reed. She's very sweet, she's a little naive in the beginning, having her faith tested. There's one scene where Mr. Reed quotes a very famous line and she thinks he's quoting a Spider-Man movie, but he's actually quoting Voltaire. She was so fun to watch, and she is a character that you will really care about through this whole movie. She actually played Monica Sherwood in Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans, and I really think her career is going to take off. She's a fantastic actress. There are a lot of great cultural references that I really enjoyed in this film. The way the writers work in the board game Monopoly and the band Radiohead, it's a lot like what Tarantino does in Kill Bill with the Clark Kent Superman reference that I love so much.
Clark Kent is how Superman views us. And what are the characteristics of Clark Kent? He's weak. He's unsure of himself. He's a coward.
So this movie has a lot of dialogue, but it absolutely pays off. And it doesn't make the film seem longer than it is. This movie really flies by. It's a dialogue-heavy movie that really gets everything right. The third act was not what I was expecting at all. Again, it had me really guessing the whole time. Topher Grace is in this movie. He plays Elder Kennedy, who goes around town looking for the two girls, which I thought was kind of strange that a big name like that would have such a small role. I know he hasn't been in a lot lately. He does have one particular scene with Hugh Grant where his acting really shines through. I really enjoyed this scene. All in all, Heretic was a really fun, well thought out horror thriller that not only had Hugh Grant's best performance in years, it's a really interesting story that will get people talking after the lights come on. It won't steer you toward one belief or another, but it is very fun. It's a great thriller. There are stellar performances by Paxton and Barnes that I loved, and everything from sound design to color usage and set design is just about perfect. It's an enjoyable ride that will keep you guessing till the end, and that's why I'm giving Heretic 4 stars out of 5. It may be one of my favorite movies of the year. See it in smell-o-vision if you can. So I want to know your thoughts on Heretic. What did you think of the pop culture references? What stood out to you in this movie? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk about it more with you. Tell me what you thought of Hugh Grant's performance. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That always helps the channel out. And remember, don't wait till it streams. Let's go to the theaters and let's see it together. Especially this one. Go see it in smell-o-vision. Trust me, it's amazing.
Oh, you were finished? Oh, well, allow me to retort.